Hello, Stellar Mommies here. I am Dr. Della Parker, and we've got Dr. Andrea Hurst with us today. She is the new chiropractor here at Stellar Health and Wellness. Just a reminder, you can find us in Clackamas, Oregon, and you can also find us at stellarhw.com, along with all of our social media links. So today, we're just going to have a little chat about plastics. Just kind of came up in office conversation, and we thought, man, you guys probably want to know some of this information too. So where should we start?
Well, plastics are so pervasive. I think as back to school is getting into swing, you're probably really realizing how much plastic is a part of your daily life and your kids' daily life.
Totally.
With packing lunches, after school activities. You know, if your kid is bringing home their plastic bag full of wet clothes from stuff, plastic is just part of our lives, and it's a convenient thing. I am not knocking the convenience of
I must
plastic.
say that when, like a few weeks ago, Dr. Hurst brought these things to my attention. You have to show these things.
Okay.
So I try to use like reusable things in lunches as much as possible, but we do use plastic baggies for some things.
Yeah.
But tell us about these things that you're showing us.
These are great. These I just found on Etsy. There's a million different sellers. I
actually saw them at Target too.
Yeah, and I think a lot of big box stores are starting to carry options because they know people are concerned. So this is just a cloth bag. This one is not lined, so you would want to use this for dry snacks or foods. But I do have several that are lined. And that means you could put a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or,
Like salami
something
or
else. Yeah,
like
that you wouldn't want yucky
cloth.
stuff.
Yeah.
And these are totally, you throw these in the washing machine, hang them up to dry, and they're really nice. And they're also pretty light. So it's just a matter of like folding and unfolding. So, I think I bought a stack of 6 of these for like $18. Like I said, I like Etsy because I like supporting small entrepreneurs like us.
Totally.
But there's so many options.
Yeah. And I think kids would like having different patterns in their lunch boxes and things too.
I grabbed this one because this is for me, but my ones that I order for my kids, I have like a rainbow and unicorns one for my 3-year-old daughter. And I have a Star Wars one for my 6-year-old son. So they were both really excited about those. Thinking about other lunch options, I have this. Now, this is a plastic lid, but this is glass. So, the majority of my food is coming into contact with the glass, not with the plastic
This is
lid.
another huge pet peeve of mine is when, like I always tell patients and my husband, not to microwave plastic. Yeah. That is like the worst of the worst.
This is, catering to those people who want to do that because this is a little airlock to let the, condensation escape. But you never want to put that
Anytime you get plastic hot, you're basically going to get more chemicals out of it into the substance. So microwaving, you always, if you're going to microwave at all, which that's a whole different conversation that we could have about how it destroys your food. But you want to use glass because you're going to get less toxins in your foods for sure.
Totally. And I think that brings up, another common daily thing that maybe a lot of moms are finding themselves doing is stopping through the Starbucks drive-thru or Dutch Brothers or, whatever your favorite coffee joint is.
Yeah.
And then all of the fun plastic things that come with your coffee.
So every time I go through the drive-thru, I get so pissed always because they mess up my order, but it's like the easiest order. I'm like, how can you mess this up? I order a tall Americano with extra room. And the reason is because I don't want to drink hot liquid through that plastic lid because it's like I just picture the chemical soup going into my body. And I also don't like things that are super, like I can't drink really, really hot coffee. I'm kind of a wimp like that. So I like to take the lid off and just hold the cup like while I'm driving so it can cool off and I can just drink it.
And you're not worried about it spilling on you
But
either.
but they are like, oh no, we want to give you more for your money. We're going to barely give you any room. And then I end up having to dump half of it out in the street because I can't hold it and drive and not spill all over myself.
That's so frustrating. I think another thing I see a lot of women do who want to protect their beautiful lipstick is drink through a plastic straw. And that also can help protect teeth, if you don't want your teeth to be stained with coffee. But that's just another opportunity to introduce all of those lovely chemicals into you. You're mainlining it right in through that straw.
Those metal straws I've heard that they have keychains that you can use reusable straws and things.
Pops open.
Because of the sea turtles is where it got really popular, right?
Yeah, they're up the sea turtles' nose,
Our nanny showed our kids pictures of sea turtles with straws up their nose. And we were at a restaurant, and my son just, they put a straw in his water, and he was like, Mom, the sea turtles! And I I'm like, sorry, like I didn't even like really heard of it. And then at a restaurant, I had to ask for a straw because I don't know, I can't drink icy things like without a straw. But he was like, oh, nobody's really doing straws anymore. And he kind of educated me, like, people have them, like, a keychain, like, I don't know, like, reusable straws is a thing now. So I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so maybe we should put together, like, a shopping guide for some of these products that we're talking about. I think another one, especially thinking about moms and kids running around, is water bottles. Now, and that's true if your water bottle especially gets stuck in your car. Now, we don't have a lot of 90-degree days left here in Portland and Clackamas, but we still have some. And so any liquid that's hanging out in a plastic container in a space that gets really hot, you know, you don't want to leave your pet in your car when it gets really hot. You don't want to leave your water bottle. Totally. So, you know, there's lots of options out there. You know, these all...
We've got stainless steel is really good. Glass.
This one is great. This is Pura because this is all silicone, so there's no plastic parts to this one at all.
That's awesome.
Which is great. You do need to scrub these pretty good, though. They can get kind of mildewy and yucky. But so those are options too.
Yeah.
So
what else?
What, you know, you were talking about the chemical soup of what can come into you through like heating plastics or, you know, other things coming into contact. What kind of chemicals and like what are you concerned about if you're thinking about that?
Well, there's, I think, because you mentioned BPA, right? And so one really interesting thing about plastic water bottles that I was reading is that, so BPA, huge, you were just telling me a second ago about an article that you read.
So that it's a endocrine disruptor. So basically, you know, you have all kinds of different hormones in your body that form part of your endocrine system. We know now it's like your neuroimmunoendocrine system is this long, crazy name. If you want to know more specifically about that, that's when you schedule an appointment with Dr. Delvin to go over all that. But basically, that is a hormone disruptor, and especially of estrogen, which is a really important hormone in your body for all kinds of, you know, things. It's not just for menstrual cycle, like estrogen is important for your bone health. It does all kinds of things. So there was a study that I was just reading yesterday from Korea, South Korea specifically, that looked at the levels of BPA in the study participants' urine, and that 97.5% of people had BPA detectable in their urine from a low level to a really high level, and most people had a higher level, and they also had a higher level of estrogen dominance type of symptoms. So I can link the article if you guys want to read.
What's really interesting is I think that people think of like, oh, BPA, so they'll buy like a plastic water bottle that says BPA-Free, but BPA is like one chemical that's been identified. So like you got to think about what is that being replaced with, and so in a few years, what's going to be BPR or whatever that we're avoiding? It was the replacement, and so plastic is just not. I mean, even though things are BPA-Free, you still want to try to avoid plastics.
It's marketing, right? Like they know. Those types of companies know that people are becoming more savvy, so they're going to label it in a way that might get you to still buy their product.
Totally.
But we're the guinea pigs of all those other forms of softer plastics that are made with those type of things.
And so many women have hormone dysregulation problems, whether it's just like their periods are irregular or they've got like really heavy bleeding and cramping or fertility issues are huge. Like all of those things, not like we're trying to pin the whole world's problems on plastic, but like all of those things are contributing. Like they find BPA chemicals in women's breast milk all the time. There's been several studies done on that. It's like all of this stuff is just like, you know, just picture the chemical soup going into your body when you're like using these products. It's kind of gross when you really think about it.
Well, and I think you were mentioning also about vitamin D.
And vitamin D is like, everybody has low vitamin D. And so everybody's like, well, we live in Oregon. And I'm like, well, there's like a million reasons why we're low in vitamin D. Since we have time, I might go into those for a second. But one of the biggest ones is absorption. So hexanes, which is like all these plastic chemical things, they actually block the absorption of vitamin D. So even if you are exposing your skin and running around naked between 10 and 2 in the afternoon when we have like the right rays of sun to create vitamin D absorption in our bodies, without sunblock and without clothes so you can get all the vitamin D. If you're still in this world of plastics, then you can't absorb it at all. And so those hexanes, they're another part of the whole endocrine disrupting thing, but vitamin D is huge. I think everybody is deficient. And so it's not just the plastics, but that's a huge part. It's not just that we live in Oregon though either. Like a lot of people get enough exposure when they're outside, but it's kind of crazy.
I think it's like anything else. It's multifactorial. It's all of those complicated things playing together to give you the experience that you're having in your body and how you feel. And so if you can make some of those changes by having, a different type of water bottle or packing your kids' snacks in a different kind of bag, then you're setting them up. And I think that's especially important for kiddos. Like, their body is a lot smaller mass. Yeah. And so that same level of those types of chemicals can disproportionately affect them. Totally. And so I think that that's something else to keep in mind. I'm not a fear monger, like, ooh, be afraid of everything. Like, we can't live in a plastic bubble. Haha. But I think it's also something just to be aware of, like, moving forward, because we are the experiment on some of this stuff, and our kids are going to be the ones that are going to have that news flash.
Just like you said, I'm probably one of the most mainstream naturopaths out there, probably. Like, we live a pretty mainstream lifestyle. Like, a lot of my naturopathic friends, like, they have their organic gardens, and I don't know, their cotton on their body is organic, and I'm not quite there yet. I aspire to, like, get better every day. But I think, like you said, just being aware of these things and how they can mess with your health potentially, it gives you the opportunity to just make small choices here and there. It's not like we would expect anybody to, like, rid all plastic and, like, revamp your whole life. While that would be amazing, it's not realistic, but we just want you to, like, start thinking about it and start making the small changes where it's easier to do that in your life, and maybe you'll see big changes in your health. You never know.
I think one really simple, like, takeaway that you might be able to do in a daily situation is a plastic bag. Plastic bags are ubiquitous. They're a really common source of litter and trash. I think we've all seen the videos of
them in the ocean.
Like the floating plastic. Like, it's horrible, and it's really super sad. So, one small change that you can make on a regular basis is to bring your own cloth or whatever type of bag. Maybe it's a recycled plastic bag, but just leaving a couple in your car, making sure that they recycle back.
For grocery shopping, you're talking about?
Shopping, going to the library, taking stuff in and out of your house. Like, kids' stuff always accumulates in your car. It does. Yeah. And then the tendency is, like, okay, like, I'm going to put it all into this thing, and, like, it'll make its way to the corner, and eventually I'll put it away. But I think
in my language.
I think grocery shopping would be an easy one. Yeah. Our family actually made a switch a couple weeks ago to reduce our plastic bag use in the produce department by investing in some mesh cotton bags. So, like, we buy bulk broccoli that just is not wrapped. Yeah. And so instead of, like, ripping off from the giant roll of the plastic bag, I have my own little mesh cotton bag that goes into, and then it gets weighed, and we pay for it, and I
never even thought of that. That's really cool.
I saw it linked on somebody else's blog. Yeah. And my grocery store has been really okay with it. Like, the cashiers are like, okay, whatever.
They're like, sweet, we're charging you, like, 5 cents more because your bag weighs more, right?
Actually, some grocery stores will give you a bag credit. And that's a thing for bringing your own bags to other grocery stores, too. Yeah. You can tell them, like, I have 4 bags today, and they'll give you 5 cents a bag. Right. And so some grocery stores will count those little produce bags as a bag
credit. Oh, that's really cool, too. So I love this idea. Like, when I'm packing lunches now, and we are totally using some of the plastic bags, every time I'm like, I need to go to Etsy. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, we need to do this, because I think that this, like, the kids will love it. Yeah. And I'm like, I'll feel super good about putting their snacks in that every day. So I think that's a change that I'm ready to do.
And there's different sizes of these, right? So this is, like, just a sandwich bag size, but there's like smaller, like, snack bags and, like, a larger one too. Yeah. So, and that could be a fun thing, an educational opportunity with your kids to bring some of this up and, like, talk to them about it, is to, like, have them pick out what design they want.
Totally. I love the sea turtle image. Yeah. Because my kids were talking about it. They actually were telling me about it. So I think that that's super cool if they don't have straws and anything at school, but start telling their friends and educating about, maybe sharing those pictures and things, just so then those kids can bring it up to their friends. I think that's really cool.
It's got to start somewhere.
Yeah, it's
the change starts with us.
Yes.
Well, this has been so awesome. So I think if you guys have questions about what we've talked about, if you want to know,
you can comment below questions, and we'll totally type in an answer if there's anything specific.
We'd love to see some pictures of products that you decide to make switches with, or you taking your reusable plastic bags with you, or reusable bags with you wherever you're headed out and about.
Tag the Stellar Wellness Mommies on Instagram, and we give away prizes all the time for people who are tagging us and active on our page. So follow us and get in there, and then maybe you get chosen to be a prize winner. So comment below, and any questions we'd love to answer for you. And so cheers.
Plastic
free.
Plastic free.
All right, until next time, thanks for joining us.
Bye.